Hey y'all, I'm Jerdy, and in this video we're going to go over another update on the Phase 4 PTR for Season of Discovery. So you can see the change right here. Malleable Protection now grants 4 attack power per excess point of defense when Holy Shield is used instead of spell power. This is awesome. It's a great compromise to what we were asking for. I just simply wanted Holy Shield to give back attack power. Instead, they're putting it on the Malleable Protection rune, so Prot Paladins who have Holy Shield have a reason to run this over Sheath of Light. This is what they wanted. They wanted us to use Malleable Protection over Sheath of Light, and now we're going to. When we tested this out today, we saw on a dummy with all my world buffs and consumes, I was able to start around 1400 DPS and then manage around 1000, 1100 depending on my crits afterwards. That is insanely good without relying on any damage from Holy Shield and improved Sanctuary. So looking at the PTR logs, it looks funky because there's no character name on here, and it's also funky because a lot of these logs are the same logs. This is one log. This is also one log. This is also the same log. So 1, 2, 3 logs take up 20 spots. I don't know why it's doing that, but it is. So these top guys right here, how are they hitting this high of a number? Well, they're full DPS spec, and they're running Purified Power instead of Art of War. So they're focusing on Exorcism. I'm not going to look at this one because it's a 5-minute fight and they're cheesing it. They got double wings. It's like 10 people in this log. Don't look at this for real data. Right here though, this guy's name is Chaos Tank, and you can see he's focusing on Exorcism. He's playing it the way we played it the last 2 phases. He's rocking Purified Power, Art of War to try and exo spam his way to the top. Now remember, test work is undead, so we're getting guaranteed exo crits, and that's his #1 damage. Crit chance, 100% right there. You're going to subtract a hefty amount of DPS from that. Essentially half, right? Now, are we going to get some Exorcism crits? Yeah, we're going to get some. Are they all going to be crits? No. We're not going to see that kind of percentage until Nax. So those 1700 DPS logs you're seeing are not true. When you jump down to the 1500 log, this is my friend Severy, and he's Deep Prot. Now, unfortunately, the cringe druids in his run didn't give him thorns, which would add more DPS. This is a more realistic number that you're going to see running Deep Prot. Again, guaranteed exo crits, right? That's pretty significant, these guaranteed exo crits. But most of our damage is from our melee swings, Seal of Martyrdom, and Exorcism. Now, is crit nice? Do we want to have crit? Absolutely. But this log is a more accurate representation of what your damage dealing abilities are going to be. Now, is Purified Power probably going to end up being stronger than Hammer of the Righteous on single target? Probably. But is the damage close? Yes. It's only like a 200 DPS difference from using Hammer of the Righteous versus Purified Power, and that's just a rune swap. We don't have to change specs for that. We just swap a rune if we're fighting a single target boss or multi-target boss, or if we're doing AoE versus single target. So I'm not really too worried about that. The damage is not that noticeable. Going into week 1, I think it's still safe to rock Holy Shield and rock Deep Prot for the sake of progression. We don't know how hard anything's gonna hit, and if the damage is only 200 DPS with world buffs, then there's nothing to really be stressing out about damage-wise. Now, what you're seeing here is a 99th percentile of tanks on test work, and I wanted to show you this because I want to show you why this is not an accurate representation of what the numbers are. So I'm going to grab a screenshot of this and show all this. So let's do this right here. Let's make this big, and let's go over why this is not true. We've already gone over Tank Paladin. Guaranteed exo crits, right? Guaranteed exo crits. We're going to cross that out. 100% exo crit. Rogues, I'm sorry, it's gonna go this way. I don't know how much because y'all got nerfed. They nerfed mutilate, and they nerfed some poison damage. Warlocks, probably this way. I'm pretty sure they got buffed on the last blue post. Cool, fun. Tank Warrior, this is like Deep Prot Warrior, I'm pretty sure, and I think this is unfortunately an accurate scope of what Deep Prot is doing, but they're gonna figure out a Fury Prot, right? So I'll draw an arrow this way. Maybe Shaman. Don't care. It's honest truth. Sorry, I don't care. Tank Druid, they are not getting logged as tank. That is like up to here, and I'm not kidding, because I've been in a test work with a Tank Druid, and they were up around 1400 DPS, not getting logged as tanks. But this is kind of a more accurate scope of what you're really going to see when it comes to tanks and their DPS going into phase 4. Hey y'all, one thing I really forgot to mention that's super important are the amount of parses that are actually logged right now on Warcraft logs. For example, Druid, I mentioned this earlier, they're not getting logged as tanks because there's only 4 logs as tanks for Druids right now. That can't be right. Warrior only has 1, Shaman has 3. Warlock, Rogue, and Paladin have the most, Paladin by far the most. For them, it's a little more accurate on what they can do, but for Shaman, Warrior, and Druid, I don't think that's enough data to see what they really can do, which is why I said don't trust the log for exact numbers on what your class can put out DPS wise. In front of you, you have the build that me and Severy were testing out today on the PTR. This is what we're kind of considering the single target build. You can call it the Prot Vindicator build. Remember, the Vindicator rune is now just built into the Vindication talent, which is why we're going in here. It's why we're not grabbing Improved Seal of Righteousness and Consecration. I know, not having Consecration as a Paladin just doesn't feel right, but to be honest, it's nice having one less button to press. There is some argument over Pursuit of Justice or Conviction. I know it's only 2 points in the Conviction, but it's still more crit chance. Just get minor speed on your boots and you're going to be set. If you feel like you want more hit, you can go into Precision. You don't necessarily need Improved Righteous Fear. Your threat is going to be fine, but it's player's choice with that. And now right here is your more AoE focused build. As you see, we grab Consecration this time. I went ahead and went full into one-hand specialization and just putting 2 into parry. And I think for AoE and dungeon spam purpose, I think you should grab Benediction over Improved Blessing of Might. The only rune difference I would swap between these two if you're testing it out would be trying out Wrath instead of Improved Sanctuary. It just depends really on how much you pull in a dungeon. I think it's going to be pretty even. Remember, your rotation priority is going to change when you're in a dungeon. You're not really going to focus on Shield of Righteousness if you're AoE tanking. You're going to be focusing more on Hammer of the Righteous and Consecration. Shield of Righteousness is more as the filler if you're not using those two. Now, I'm hoping nothing else gets changed because nothing else needs to get changed. This is awesome. Nobody should be complaining about Prot Paladin anymore. And if you are, you're asking for way too much at this point. That's just my honest opinion. But I hope nothing gets changed because now I can work on a guide for you guys before the phase comes out. Now, if you've been following me since the start, you'll know that my guides always come out after the phase is out because I want to make sure I test everything out and give y'all proper information. Luckily, with the PTR being out this long and a lot of testing, I feel more than confident to give you proper information before the phase is out. We'll go over leveling, specs to run, pre-bis gear, how to be ready for Molten Core, and all those 1 raid bosses before they're out. But I'm really happy to see that Agrin and Zyrene are listening to us Prot Paladins with all the changes we've gotten up until launch. I don't want to see anything else in regards to Prot Paladin on the blue post anymore. I just want this to be final and go into launch like this. But before I go, if you haven't noticed, I'm sure you've seen this vote for me thing up top right here. I was nominated for the Sprout Award, the Up-and-Comer Content Creator or Streamer of the Year Award for the first annual MMOAwards. I would love to have y'all's vote. They're all write-ins right now. This is the first round of voting and it ends July 5th, which is coming up pretty soon. That's in like 2 days of me posting this video, or actually tomorrow of me posting this video. You can vote by going to MMOAwards.com, creating an account, scroll down to the very bottom where it says the Sprout Award category, and write in Jerdy, JD, or Jerdy, either one will work, and that's all you have to do. I really appreciate all the support y'all have given me throughout my short time here on YouTube. As always, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for saying hi. Guys, tell me what you think about this awesome change. I know I love it, but I'm interested to see what y'all's thoughts are on it. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you're new to the channel. I'll be doing Paladin stuff all the way to the end of Season Discovery. You won't see me go away. Happy 4th of July if you celebrate. Follow me on twitch.tv/JerdyJD, and I will see y'all in the next video.